Howdy y'all, Fuzzy Biker here. Look what I got behind me today. This is a Royal Enfield Meteor 350. It's a used motorcycle. I got it from Baxter Cycle today. I took my Himalayan in to get a new tire and they couldn't get to it, so they said take this and have a bunch of fun on it. So they've done some add-ons to it and we'll talk about all that neat stuff. We are at the location of the first train robbery in the West committed by the notorious Jesse James and his gang of outlaws. How about that, huh? So an interesting side note right quick. This whole thing disappeared one day and it was gone for years. Nobody knew what happened to it. There was a house fire in Ohio, I think, and they found it in the basement. So here it has been returned. But back to the motorcycle. 349 cc, single cylinder, overhead cam, 2 valves, 1 intake, 1 exhaust, air, oil cooled. Beautiful little engine, produces about 20 horsepower, about 20 foot-pounds of torque. That's about 27 newton meters, I believe. Wonderful, wonderful, and I mean that sincerely. 5-speed transmission that just works excellent with this motorcycle. This one has a heel shifter. This model comes stock with a heel shifter. The Meteor does. Isn't that just gorgeous? The mag wheels. You know, look at those wheels. The rim tape, just gorgeous. They look like a snowflake to me. Anyway, gorgeous motorcycle, a wonderful engine. One of my favorites, and it's the same engine that's in my 350 Classic engine transmission. And it just always pulls. I've got about 6,000 miles on mine now, and I just love it. Isn't that just beautiful? All blacked out like that with the yellow. There's been some add-ons to this bike, and we'll talk about that. A couple more things about the sucks. It's got 41 millimeter tubes. I can't remember the amount of travel. I'll put that down below. 300 millimeter single disc, dual piston bi-breeze on the front. The mag wheels, tubeless tires. Isn't that just gorgeous? This one has had a fairing added to it for windshield. It's also had these Royal Enfield handguards added to it, which is very nice. Other things have been done to it. We'll talk about that in a minute. It's a dual shock rear end. And again, I don't remember the travel for the rear end. I wasn't ready for this review. Like I said, they kind of sprung this bike on me. Lucky guy, right? So anyway, I'll put the travel for the rear and the back, also with the wheelbase. I think this has about a 55-inch wheelbase, or close to 1,400 millimeters. Weight on this motorcycle is 420 pounds wet. That's with a full tank of fuel. And I think this has about a 4-gallon tank, about 16 liters, 15, 16 liters. Weight, so that'd be about 195 kilograms. Very nice motorcycle. They've added these bags to it. We kept this one open, this one's up, and this is how it looks collapsed. So you can unhook it and unclapse it if you don't want it out, sticking out. Other things this has is this amazing Royal Enfield touring seat. I've been enjoying that. I put about 30 miles on this bike already today. I plan to put another 100 on it yet, but I can really feel this lumbar support that's right here. Isn't that, it just looks good, doesn't it? They call that their touring seat. Those are my Royal Enfield Alpine Star gloves, which I just love. BaxterCycle.com has those. Anyway, isn't that just a gorgeous bike? I love the classic looking taillight, you know, the cruiser-esque setup. You know, it's set up to look like a cruiser bike. It's got the forward controls. My bike has the foot pegs right here. The Hunter has them back here. You know, a lot of difference in these things. I think ground clearance on this is 6.9 inches, or about 175 millimeters. Just a gorgeous little machine. Just a gorgeous little machine. I absolutely love riding these. I did ride one of these, a few months ago. We put a couple 100 miles on them in a day. And I just had a ball, and I even took it on the interstate. I don't know if y'all can make that up, but the interstate's right over yonder. And, you know, it's the kind of bike, if the wind's behind you, you can go on the interstate. It has a speed limiter at about 75, but if you're going into the wind, you might want to go another route. I love it. Let's see, what else can I show you about this wonderful little hot rod? I love the milled ends and the fins here. Just very well done. You have the Royal Enfield pegs, front and rear. Lots of good detail. These are raised letters. Oh, let's jump up here. So the controls are, this button here is the information button, and we'll talk about that in a second. This is the flash to pass button, low beams, high beams, blinkers right here, horn right there. Kind of these barrel shaped Amal style grips, kind of, you know, throwback to the past. On this side it's the kill switch, the run switch, and the start switch is kind of a rocker. And this color again is a throwback to the past. These are the hazard lights, and then, you know, the fuel. Turning this on, this is one of my favorite parts of this bike. Okay, this is a very nice setup here. It's got an analog speedometer on the top, a digital fuel gauge here, a gear indicator, time, and then down here it's on trip A right now. I talked about this information button over here. So trip A right now, there's trip B. I've got 27 miles on this motorcycle. The bike has 1,601 miles on it total, that's odometer, and then we're back to trip A. And down below we've got a battery light, ABS light, and engine light. If you feel this, there's kind of a domed feeling to this thing. It's very nice, very nice. This over here is the trip nav system, and maybe we'll play with that tomorrow. And just while we're up here looking around, notice the covers, the caps that are on the end of the forks. Very nice finishing touch. It's a very nice place to be. Brake lever and the clutch lever. It's kind of hard to show you on this motorcycle, but these levers are some of my favorite ones on the market. Maybe I can show you better over here. They've got a really good bend to them, sweep to them. They grow wider as they come out this way. They've got a good radius on them. They're just very comfortable to use. Like I said, probably one of my favorites out there. And the windshield actually works very well. The windshield was, the wind was hitting me right about here, so my helmet was in the air, but my chest was clear of the turbulence. So it you know, took the pressure off my body, but my head was still in the open. And amazingly, I didn't get any bugs on me, so it works pretty well. Good looking motorcycle, isn't it? This one's just a beautiful, beautiful machine. I like it. I like it. I like it so much, I'm going to go take that hot rod and go for another 100 miles. We'll try to get 100 miles on it tonight, and probably a couple hundred miles tomorrow, and supposed to have it back. This is Tuesday. We're supposed to have it back on Thursday, so we'll see what we can do before then. Life is good. Get out there and ride, my friends. Wahoo!